Gazhag got a really fast meter, so I'm going to guess that was mostly him. As Scriff using the intercept, pulling Piox down. Piox is going to space or just walk out though with the CC in his favor, and sit behind the bubble now as Scriff. They're looking to go on to. They're about to have a double ultimate. They have a quadruple ultimate here. Heroic charge coming out plus lockdown. Big damage going to be coming out here. Scriff, though, dropping really low. And I think that's going to be... Oh, nice intercept right there.
Oh, my God.
I believe they got the kill on that one there. I thought Gazhag was going to have that, and actually he does have Scriff. Not at the time he probably wanted to have him. And EX Spear comes a bubble. A Malachor going full-on DPS right now, trying to get Gazhag down. One space and one M1, I think will do it if he can get that space off. Here comes a space. Is going to miss. And that could be a little bit of a costly mistake if it comes back to haunt him. I think he's got the advantage. Oh, EX, you're barely missing right there. A couple pixels. And I think he would have had that one. And Malachor, very content with just healing. Putting Gazhag in a really bad spot. That bubble just kind of blocking everything. And M1, enough pixie dust to spread the word. And he is going to beat that one.
Wow. Great play right there. Got so close. Scriff able to get that intercept. Get out of the machine gun range from Gazhag. Able to take out Piox, and man, that was close. He died afterwards. Gazhag and Malachor duking it out. So, as a Herald, you're not completely vulnerable, and good use of that EX Sphere. Getting that damage off, making sure that you weren't just going to get controlled, weren't going to just sit there and take a bunch of shotguns. We're going to see what's going to go on next. So it looks like Hybrid is a little bit sluggish. He's just going to woo-ju on into the fight, and Noerty throwing out that X-Strike. Good job. After that concussion shot onto Scriff. Great combo, but look at all that damage. Whiffed intercept right there. Going to get feared back out of the way, so good team support. Piox in the middle of the fight. He can be punished right here, and Hybrid not going to go onto him. Scriff going to get knocked back from Noerty. Good play. Ultimate blocked by the Wuju, and Hybrid about to go down. He's using his ultimate to try and heal. Can he get enough healing in time? He's stuck in the storm, and a Chrono coming out. He's going to space away. Malachor stuck. CC'd. Concussion shot to Tornado. Hybrid could be going down because of that, so great combo right there. Concussion shot, put him up in a Tornado, keep him in the air, away from those heals, allowing the Cold team to get back on their feet and keep themselves up, do enough damage to take them out.
Yeah, and you see a lot more usage from the Engineer with the Enlarge now to prevent damage. So, a good adjustment by the Engineer to really take away that fast, bursty DPS that the Donors by Heart team is putting out. And Scriff is a big part of that. The new Vanguard, very DPS-oriented, somewhat tank now, as he lost a lot of his tank ability. But, he hasn't been using that shout a whole lot. The EX Reflect, which is Battle Shout. I haven't seen a whole lot of that. He's been using it mostly for intercept, and I think that's working out good for him and all, but I don't know. The Shout might be a little better at this point. I think he might need that Reflect, though, for a lot of abilities. He's not reflecting a whole lot, though, from what I've seen. Either his reflexes are a little bit slow or what. But a lot of range fight going on here. I mean, there's only one melee DPS if you really look at it. One melee, period. And, Scriff having a hard time because of that. Going against a triple range team, and especially a triple range team with so much CC as Hybrid, trying to bait a Wuju as best he can, try to get in, but oh man, nice EX space right there. Big freight train hitting it right there. Scriff, heroic charge on a Gazhag, went from about 90% to 25% instantly, and Malachor comboing with him, but I don't think they're going to get the damage back. They're going to lose a lot of the damage they just did because of healing, and they need to stay with it, or else Piox is just going to sit back there and get free heals because of it. And actually, look at this. Gazhag getting pulled, but Gazhag just going to space away. Good setup by Scriff. Unfortunately, he did have his spacebar available, and he'll have to wait for it to be down next time, I imagine, as Scriff looking for a way in. He sees the bubble up. He knows he's going to have to go down. But Gazhag coming out with the MG, waiting to see if he can get anything out of it. Not a whole lot of damage coming out. Hybrid taking a little bit from the MG. And again, Scriff pushing Gazhag away. The Shrink is going to push him way back, though. As the taunt comes out, this could be big right here. The rage stacks, always a big thing to happen, but the shield is going to go on him, and they're not going to touch that at all, as Noerty's going to throw his Boomerang Bonanza, do a good amount of damage to Hybrid. Hybrid dropping really low, about 10%. As Malachor's in the air, this could be the time to capitalize, as Scriff is finally going to Battle Shout. So that's going to be a big thing right there, plus the rage stacks, and I think that just got dispelled from Gazhag with that EMP, as now Scriff is like all by himself in the middle of the map. I don't know if you see the Triforce happening here from the Cold team. They're positioning themselves all around so they can't get hit by any AoE at all. And we are going to sudden death with a decent amount of HP. Worm team really at a disadvantage when it comes to life, and Hybrid in a really bad spot right now in the corner. Ultimate coming out. This could be big. Gazhag is going to get taken out right there. Huge ultimate from Hybrid. It couldn't have been any better. And Nuerti, a couple hits away. He needs to get focused on real fast here. And Lockdown is going to come out. Big Lockdown. And a double EX spacebar plus an intercept is going to finish that one. So big round there for Team Donors by Heart. And that was a hard-fought round for both teams there.
Wow, hard-fought indeed. Engineer spaced in. Warm Team's like, that's it. We've got him. His mobility is down. You know, they capitalized on him, and they destroyed him, as well as a huge reflect. You know, Noerty had his ultimate, and Vanguard was standing right there. He's like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna kill you. But Scriff was like, ha ha ha, I've got a reflect up. Eat your own ultimate, buddy. And that just took him out early, like after Gazhag did die. So even though you are low, they kept in the fight. They stayed solid, played defensive, and waited till the opponent got hasty and made a mistake. Then they actually punished, so you can't let your guard down for a minute in this game, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to see Scriff running around with his axe and shield, or sword and shield, I should say, sword and board. He's going to be trying to do some damage. Intercept, going to try and keep Gazhag in the background, but not going to happen. Machine gun is available. Not sure if he's going to be able to get that out, though. Hybrid just staying back with his ultimate, waiting for a good time to get in. It could be now. Looks like, no, going to get that concussion shot. Machine gun goes off into lockdown, so it's going to do amplified damage, and Hybrid already down to 50% HP. Malachor getting EMP'd. They're being forced back into a corner. That's good for the Nomad, as long as he's not trapped. With an intercept like that, haste to get out, but Hybrid's going to sort of body block him. Malachor's right here, can do his ultimate. Battle Shout coming out just to keep Hybrid up. Chronoflux is all over the place, cannot lose that range war. Amplify's coming out, and oh man, lockdowns on a lot of people. Amplified damage. Hybrid is going to love this. Noerty going down in the meantime. Great play. Malachor doing a little bit of damage, as well as Scriff. Hybrid about to go down, but that is going to be a 3-2 finish. So Donors by Heart coming back and looking very strong right there in the end for these last two rounds. Going to be taking it at 3-2, so GGs do come out, and I believe that is it. So, you know, Pyox Noerty left, and man, that is intense, ladies and gentlemen.
I need to restart my client. I'll be right back. I had a little bit of a graphic glitch there. I lost all the names. That was kind of weird. Yeah, this is it's getting intense. The closer it gets to those grand finals, it's getting kind of crazy in here.
I think my room heated up by about 3 degrees with my computer working overtime.
3 degrees, more like 15 over here. Jeez Christ, I'm sweating my ass off. Almost literally.
Eating strawberries is good for you.
Yeah, alright, I'm back in. Let's do this. Let's get it going. Screw it. Come on.
I'm here. Alright, I'll get you in.
Come on, strawberry boy.
Strawberry boy. Alright, let's get Kay in the game as well. It's always good to invite him, because Kay is pretty much the person we go to and we're like, Kay, fix this, because you're the only one that, you know, is there in IRC. So he gets yelled at a lot. Want to just get him in the game, watch some of his fruits of his labor, and because he has been programming a lot. And funny enough story, background on Kay, I know we're not talking about the players right now, I apologize, but he actually was a player himself. Did a lot for the community.
Red
actually
cheese.
Started the EU tournaments and did the admin work for it. And he actually got things going for this game, to tell you the truth. And he had a programming background, so Stunlock was like, hey, you want a job? And he took it. So now he works at Stunlock, but you know, I gotta give all the credit to Kay for actually starting the competitive scene for Bloodline Champions back when he did BLC Weekly, where all the European players would get together and have a good time. BL Gaming hooked up with them, said, hey, you know, we want to run US tournaments as well as EU. Why don't we tag team it? And bam, now we are where we are. A couple months later down the road, we are hosting these, you know, awesome games with awesome teams. Back in the day, we used to only have like 5 teams sign up. Now we have 60 teams signing up, 1,000 plus viewers. And I got to give a shout out to everybody watching and sticking with us over these past couple weeks and past couple months, depending on how long you have been introduced to the game.
Yeah, we got to give always viewers. The viewership is what this is all about. I mean, you get the hype from us, you take it, and you watch us, and you just go crazy with it. And it just shows, how the way we're reacting to the matches. The action is just insane in this game, especially when you got like evenly skilled teams. Jesus Christ, and it's just that much better. I mean, even the winners finals, it was kind of a blowout sort of, but they were close every single time, even though it was like 3-0, 3-1 or something like that. It was close every single time, and a lot of when you see big numbers going out, it's always exciting, and you just love seeing people die from getting gibbed. I love it. I love gibbing in this game.
Yeah, the little blood spot from doing an overkill. I mean, this game, though, you can watch it as a complete spectator and be like, oh, what is this game? And realize the hype that comes with it. Because it's always just battling, always knowing about the positioning. If you've played any other game before, you get that sense of skill and finesse that some of these players are pulling off, especially if you've watched some of the less skilled teams. You can see the major difference between these top-tier, high-skilled competitors versus, the average Joe like me. And it's quite remarkable, to tell you the truth. Not only can you just get good individual play, and that's one dynamic, and that takes a lot. Notice a lot of these players are only playing like 1 or 2 bloodlines. Maybe 3, but they haven't mastered all the bloodlines. There's 20 bloodlines, they're releasing 5 a year, and a lot of people stay to one bloodline because it's so hard to master just one character, all the range, all the velocity, getting, all the combos down, knowing the matchups for your character. And then add that team element to it, and it gets infinitely more complex. Because now you have to learn how to combo with each of the characters on your team, figure out all of the, combos that the other team can have as well, then, switching targets when called out, and, supporting your allies, what kind of control you can do, what kind of aggression you want to be, changing from a defensive to offensive style depending on what's happening in the match and whether you have the advantage or not. So, it really is quite a dynamic game, and a good trance right there by Killing Knight. Not going to get tornadoed up there, and he's going to back out because he knows that this team is very, very zone heavy right here. Diehard, Musashi, and Lana very, adept at creating a mega zone because you have Gunner and Nomad controlling a lot of space. Lana just going to throw out the spiritual links as well. But Diehard could be in a bad spot. Gonna rocket jump away. Good job right there. Killing Knight blew his space. And good change, though. Gonna have to force another side onto Musashi. And Leadface gonna go onto Diehard right here. And no rockets are coming out quite yet. He's waiting for that X-Strike to be down. Good mortar over the pillar. He's going to keep supporting his teammates. Musashi in a lot of trouble. I would like to see some rockets or some kind of support coming out pretty soon from him. And Lana just going to have to blow his ultimate, healing everybody on his team. Not going to be getting that burst damage that a lot of Guardians, or not Guardians, a lot of Psychopomps are known for when using Guardian Spirit. And, Killing Knight very low at this point. X-Strike comes out onto Leadface, and Killing Knight does get bursted down. So good job by Diehard. Musashi able to barely stay alive and keep it in the fight.
Yeah, that was... this is going to be a rough one for Killing Knight. I mean, he's the only melee DPS at all on the board. So, going against a double range DPS strat, it's a lot of... Plus, with the Nomad, it's the control element, the CC, the slow factor. You got the blinds coming up from Musashi, plus the executes. There's... from Diehard. And it's just really hard for Killing Knight to find a way in. He's getting pretty hard harassment from the boomerangs, the shotgun, or the gun blast. And here comes the execute. He's charged right through an execute right there. He actually does take the damage, as the charge does not make him immune. So that's going to hurt right there. As Killing Knight looking for a way in. Leadface doing what he can. He's about to get Guardian Spirited though. Oh no, that wasn't Guardian Spirit. My bad. It was just a regular Soulbind. As I thought he was about to explode in real life, but. Musashi now, a little bit of a reset here on the bottom of the map. Diehard, another execute landing on the Killing Knight, really taking him out of the fight really badly because his HP just keeps going down. And as melee, you really need to get a way out somehow. And we actually have a double ultimate available from Leadface and James Lane. James Lane, Guardian Spirit coming out. He's healing through the damage right now, but no damage is actually going out from him. It's actually going to take it out still from Guardian Spirit, but he is actually going to counter. So both Psychopomps get taken out right there, regardless of swap or whatnot, and Killing Knight is going to get taken out by this double range strat. And once this healer's down, I mean, he is pretty bad fodder for a Gunner and Nomad combo.
Yeah, I mean, if that boomerang storm didn't come out and he, got that trance off, I forgot what it's called. It's called disperse, I believe. If he got that off, he might have been able to do some more work, but the storm did come out, did that CC, and he just wasn't able to get out of there. By the way, this is Unburstables on the Warm team, and on the Cold team, it is going to be Ghostbusters. Do not have an admin updating you guys in the live stream chat, and also my text layers in XSplit are not working because Flash did break or something along those lines. New Flash player came out, and it's not looking very good. As, I'm going to get back to the game. Lana right in here in the middle of the action could be very bad, but he uses EX Fear onto Leadface and James Lane, but not doing a whole lot. Right now, he's taking so much more counter pressure than Killin' Knight did when he was going up against Musashi and Die Hard. But speaking of Die Hard, he is going down pretty hard as Leadface did unload his whole boomerang ultimate. I like to call it a boomerang bonanza. And man, he is just feeling pretty rockin' right now, even running in with the sprint. But Lana has the Guardian Spirit, gonna just use other side to get away. Misuse right there. Warm team keeping it locked up, making sure they're at full HP before they really go and do anything. So good play right there. Not trying to force some kind of damage. They know they have the HP advantage as long as they all heal up and play defensive. So Musashi trying to do what he can. Lana blocked on the other side. Leadface is doing a good job. Even in these later stages of the game, separating the healer from the DPS and just trying to chip him down is a very good strategy. And that's what you need to do. But Lana could be looking pretty wrathful right here, as he does have the Guardian Spirit. I don't know, is it going to be close? Warm team, again, just going to run away. So misuse of an ultimate, and not trying to force anything. Not going to play stupid. Not going to run in next to Lana, who can do that double spiritual link, take out a member, and make it a 2-2 situation. So might it be boring to watch, but it's very hard to control yourself, especially when you have the advantage and they're low, and you're like, I can get them, but it can cause mistakes. So good job wrapping it up. They're probably telling each other, keep it quiet, let's just heal, let's just chip them down, no problem, guys.
Yeah, and playing the range game definitely hugely in favor of the blue team, or the Cold team rather. Which team is that? That's the old Skitlight. What are they called now?
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, right. And, Ghostbusters and Unburstables, I believe. And, we're getting there. We're getting pretty close to that grand final finale. So, these guys are playing for a lot right here. And that Warm team really has a lot of room to make up now, especially after going down 0-2. But they've made one up so far. We'll see if they can keep the momentum. Soulblind is not going to help their cause right now, especially swapping Killing Knight back in. But, the other side is going to take them out of pressure. And that's a big ability to use right there. As, since they are resetting somewhat, the ability's coming back. Wow, look at the damage coming off from that Soulbind right there. Almost dropping him from 50% to nothing. As he's going to get healed in between. Musashi, the Guardian Spirit, or James Lane rather, with the Guardian Spirit. Musashi throwing out the boomerangs. And Killing Knight could be in a lot of trouble right here. The rockets, slow-mo rockets coming out. James Lane taking huge damage. Oh, that swap from Lana would have killed if it didn't hit the wall right there. That was a big flop. And actually the Smurf is not going to matter because Cold Team is going to take this one quite handily this game. As man, look at the Cold Team life right there. That's not much damage went on to them, and even if it did, it didn't even need to be healed because they were just doing such a good job of kiting them around the map. And that Guardian, it could be a rough. I don't know if it's the right pick against this team. They need something with some kind of reflector, something a little bit better maybe. I'm not sure what at this point, but. Looking at the previous games, I'd say a Ravener would be a good choice at this point.
Rav? Maybe, but
Gunner and Nomad?
You can't just switch to Rav and be like, I'll roll face. You might have just seen that Iverson and Yao Bud, they played Ravener, and, they dominated their opponents. You can't just pick up a Bloodline and face roll. I play healers a lot.
He does have 10% Rev play, though, so...
Maybe. But you can't, I play healers, and if I go and try and play Nomad, I'm not going to play as well as Musashi. I'm not going to play as well as, half the Nomads out there. It's not that easy to just, pick a character and then be like, oh yeah, I know the combos, and execute. No, like I said, that's why only a couple people, you'll see a lot of them, 50% one character, 25-25, 30, and then, they'll just play random other assortments. It takes practice to get all of that stuff down. And again, the teamwork and the coordination that you need to have when you change a Bloodline is completely different. It changes the dynamic of the game. It's not like you just...
Oh, how about that, Cass?
Combo. Well, I mean, he does, but... well, I mean, I'm just saying, though, like, you know, you said he had, like, 10% or whatever. So he's played it a bit.
Yeah, he has... His most played, I think, is 13%, so 10% isn't that much of a drop-off, and, you know, he's got all the weapon upgrades and the officer skin and everything, so clearly he's well-versed in his Ravener play, and I'm kind of curious to see if this works a lot better for him, because the spin and the punch, just those two alone, is huge against this ranged kite team, is what I'm going to call it, because that's all they're really doing, is they're getting the early middle area, and then they can keep kiting backwards, and they can keep a neutral stance as we'll see how it works out for him. Killing Knight landing the stun, and look at that, they're comboing the in-cap hammer with X-Strike right there, getting big damage on Musashi, and that's actually working out pretty well right now. Leadface able to have a little bit more rain here, as James Lane actually taking a lot of damage to the background. I think that Soulbind has a lot to do with it. Lana going to swap. Looks like Lana doing a lot of damage himself, but Killing Knight, look at this Musashi in the background here, 10% HP. They might want to switch. EX spacebar comes down, but not going to matter. That's going to be evened out with Leadface going down to an execute right there, and actually Big Bertha coming out. Very rarely used ability, but very useful nonetheless from Die Hard, pushing Killing Knight out of there, and they're going to need to get a heal now as you know, Die Hard making it so James Lame having a really hard time getting those heals off. As kick back, but execute. I think that was an EX execute or something.
Oh no, I don't know.
What is Die Hard doing?
He's trolling. He's trolling. So he's just shooting around, guns a blazing. Who cares? Oh yeah, that execute pretty much. That was good. Waited till the spin was down, primed the execute. He was in a channel, very easy to hit. When you're here and everybody's lined up in there, they don't have much mobility to move around. So apparently Lana, shoutouts to everybody speaking parcel tongue. Not exactly sure, but 2GD's again stealing chocolate from the fridge in the Stunlock Studios. And we are just seeing a lot of zoning game right now. Like, this Cold team really depends on, like, if they lose their zoning game to some control happening or Die Hard getting out of position, then they will get crushed. But right now they're doing a good job staying back, staying in control, throwing out a lot of abilities and dodging. Like, that's the biggest part of their team. Like, if they get hit by, like, a tornado and then Killing Knight gets a mace stun or something like that, then their whole zoning game is over. But right now, they just build energy and then they unload their ultimates, as it looks like, Leadface did not get much of his ultimate off as it got swapped halfway through. Killing Knight going in way, way, way too deep. Other side had to be used, and he is just going to be taken out by a nice little boomerang in the back. Not sure what he was thinking whatsoever right there, and I'm sure they're not too happy on this warm team.
Yeah, I can't. They don't look very happy, as they're just going to stand there and defeat it, or take it a defeat. And, you know, losers brackets, you lose one, you're out. So this is, losers brackets is a last chance kind of thing. It is double elimination tournament, but, you know, you get to that point where you're one elimination away from losing out, and you got to play every game as if it were your last. Play to win or don't play at all, that's what we like to say. So already Execute coming on to Leadface, they're doing some work. And, you know, already they're behind as they have to, you know, burn those heals. And actually, Die Hard being swapped in a pretty precarious situation here. James Lame actually taking the EX execute, but not going to matter. As Die Hard, look at the work he's doing, even in the background here. Just, you know, too much to handle for James Lane. There's another execute primed and ready. James Lame taking so much damage right now. Big Bertha, nice nether shift to get away from that. That was the only thing that's going to get him away. Man, Die Hard is landing a lot of executes this round, and he is just full speed ahead. I don't think they're going to be able to stop him here, as Killing Knight in the background here on Ravener not being able to do enough work necessary to really shut these guys down. And I think the end is near for them, as Killing Knight is so close. But they do get a kill on Lana. I can't believe that just happened. Holy cow.
1-1.
Man, everyone just fell over right
here.
I got to say, this is Die Hard's game to win right here. He's got the range advantage. That sluggish is not going to help him, though. Wow!
What?
Bertha actually hitting right there. Oh, my God.
Doing?
That's like a piece of cake coming at you, and you're just like, taking it. No problem. And, again, that sluggish. You do not want that happening to you, especially on Gunner. This is your match to win right here, and if you're going to die to a slug bomb, then I'd say there's more to worry about. Oh, there it is.
Good bait.
One little revolver shot. That was going to be the end of that one. So, yep. And like True GD said, he was trapped in the corner, nothing he could do. little bit too much kiting from Nomad, I guess, but the health advantage was completely in favor of that gunner.
Yeah, it was. One X strike, though, could have turned things around for sure. And by the way, what we mean by sluggish being so huge is that it slows projectile speeds by 30%, I believe. And as you notice, the gunner shots were much slower after he got hit by the wind bomb, which applies the sluggish debuff. And that's why, Nomad could run around. Maybe could have done something in that meantime if he got a lucky dodge. But at the end, a good little trick for all you new players out there trying to learn gunner, trying to learn a new class. If you have something like an AoE targetable ground ability, Volcano, Mortar, Wind Bomb, Toxin Bomb, Chains of Zex, whatever, you name it, you can draw your opponent to one side. Right? If you put it on their left, or you put it on them and it's mostly off to their left, they'll run right, and then you can line up another ability to shoot them as they move right. They only have one way to go. They're either CC'd and you can line up a huge ability, or they can take your M1 shot or whatever you have lined up for them afterwards as they move over to the right. So you force the positioning. And in my tutorial series that I'm making, that is something that you can do. It's very difficult to do, especially when you're, under pressure and it's 2v2 or even 1v1 and, it's pretty close on the health. You got to really keep focused and make sure that you get that kind of skill off, Force them into a situation, make them take some damage.
Whichever works, I mean, we talk about cheese a lot as well, but you can't really call a lot of cheese in this game either, because especially when you're going for money, you gotta figure everything's go. Getting lots of people in this game, jeez.
I know. Well, I mean, we have
two
developers.
I see 3. Zek is one. He just doesn't have the cool thing.
Oh, Zach, 2GD, and that's it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Krax. I didn't know Krax was a developer. What? I've never heard of him before.
I haven't either, so that's what I was wondering. I was like, who's Krax? Oh yeah, I forgot Monster Smurf. There's too many people on my friends list that I'm looking at, I just don't see it though. They need a special color for their name, and then it'd be a lot easier.
Wow, 15 users, 9 of 10 observers, 6 of 6 players. But in the meantime, while they're going to be doing their bans and picks, again, it is going to be unburstables here on... Or no, it's going to be Derp. Donors by Heart right now on the warm team versus Ghostbusters on the cold team. We're going to wait for them to do bans and picks, but I'm going to go over some quick contact info. I'm going to tell you guys what BL Gaming's all about, as we did drop down to 976 viewers, so got to get it over the 1,000 mark. But if you guys want to figure out what BL Gaming is doing, go to our IRC. We do announce when we have new articles up, when new things are coming on. I will be in IRC. I am in it right now, so you can query me with questions. Ventrilo. We have a public Ventrilo server, derp. We do not go surfing. Well, I guess we surf on the internet. But anyways, alright, I'm getting distracted. We do have a public Ventrilo server, so if you have a couple mates that want to, just get on and play Bloodline Champions with, by all means, you can use our server and you can, chat it up. And we have a couple new players in there, a couple veteran players in there. I'll be in there. So you can ask me questions, chill out. As long as you speak English and have a good attitude, you're welcome by all means. If you want to find out, anything more about when I'm streaming, send me or follow me on Twitter, I should say. Man, I'm getting way confused. I'm reading the comments and questions at cast@blgaming.com. If you have anything about the stream, that you want improved, want to help with the graphics, want to help, edit and splice some of these tournament videos, contact me there. Follow me on Twitter if you want to know when else I'm streaming, other than the regular times that the tournaments go on. And right now I'm just putting up when our tournaments are. U.S. Weekly is Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central European Time, and on Sunday, giving the Europeans a little bit more time to play, 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central European Time on Sunday. So, Kill the King, as you well know, is this tournament that we are playing today, because you just read that right there. Got the fancy little icon in the bottom left as well, so shout-outs to all the contributors that are helping. Chronovar made this Kill the King banner. Looks a lot better than the work that I did for my Kill the King banner. Pretty epic. Got the igniter in the background. Fancy text up there. This is a tournament that does have prize money, and that's why all these people are playing at a very high level and why the best of the best are playing in this tournament right now. So, gotta give them, mega shout-outs for trying and actually getting in the tournament scene and going to BL Gaming. We are the only ones that host these tournaments. 2GD is going to be doing stuff on Tuesday as the official esports manager. He's doing his own little personal tournament with prize money for the top 8 in the matchmaking pool. So watch that on Tuesday. I might commentate with him if my job does not get in the way. But I think everybody is ready. As I'm going to go back to the main monitor right now. Taz, you got any shout-outs for us?
Shout-outs to the devs all joining us and all creating more hype for BLC. Jeez, all these letters. I was getting confused a little bit. But yeah, I mean, devs they love this game so much. We got like half of them on the job right now in our tournament games right now going on and talking with everyone, and they're interacting with the community, they're interacting with all the competitive players. Obviously they got their own console forums and everything that I'm not part of, unfortunately, but it just shows the love for the game. And if you don't have that, then you can't. If you don't put all your love into the game, then you're not going to make it to the full potential that you're obviously going to want to. And there's absolutely no way that you can say anything badly about a company that cares for their company and their product and their customers so much that they can just chill out with us and watch some awesome as hell games.
So not exactly sure. There's a lot of chat going on right here. Yeah, play, go. I'm not exactly sure. Everybody in here is pretty friendly. All the top competitors know each other and joke around quite a lot. They know each other in the matchmaking ladder. So, it's your last ban. In all this time that they haven't done anything? Oh my gosh. Well, it's it's acceptable because they've been sitting at this computer for 3.5 hours right now. So it's good for them to take a break. Here in the observer slot, I can, get up and stretch and just commentate, say, oh yeah, they did a really bad or good job on something. New
invention. You're commentating while you're running around in circles around your room. You're oh, I'm getting exercise while I'm commentating.
Yeah.
No problem, guys.
I know, doing sit-ups while commentating.
My Bluetooth fucking headset here, no problem.
But what I was going to say is that they need a break. It's much more difficult to play this game than to commentate and to just watch it from a third-person perspective. And
well, it doesn't make itself for me, so that's the problem I'm running into. My woman's gone, where's my food, It's I'm getting hungry and it sucks.
Well, Taz, that's why you cut up a bunch of strawberries beforehand and put them in a nice little dish and eat them during the tournament.
I know, I need to figure out, I need to buy food, that's the problem, I think. I don't have any food.
Getting back to my point for the third time, these competitors need a break. It's very exhausting to play this game sometimes, and you can get frustrated, especially if you make mistakes. The later on in the tournament it goes, the more mistakes you make, the tireder you get, or the more tired you get. Wow, I'm making up words left and right. I need some more. Or I could go 2GD style, James Too Good Harding, and get a beer, but it's before 5 o'clock, and here we go. They're ready to go. They're ready to get this game underway.
As they are spacing out the slots for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Make it a little bit prettier. Why not?
Well, it doesn't look very pretty on the Worm Team side. There's a big gap between Scriff and everyone else. I think he's being put in timeout or something from charging into walls headfirst too many times and making the devs work so hard having to rebuild every map every time he plays. So, you always got that to worry about. As, I'd like to know why Scriff doesn't have officer suit by now. It's what the heck?
Oh, no, he spent it on the sword and board, man.
Yeah, that thing's cheap though. It's only 6,900 points for that new axe-looking thing. As okay, there we go. I was looking at his axe and it wasn't moving. I was like, did he just drop his axe? What's going on here? But either way, here we go. Finally getting this going. As it is Ghostbusters versus Donors by Heart. Thank you, me. And we're gonna see if they can play the range game against Scriff now. As if you remember last game. The Ghostbusters love playing this ranged kite game, and it's very difficult for Scriff or any melee DPS to get in. It's actually a nice reflect there on the diehard, and that execute is going to be eaten like a chocolate piece of cake right there. Scriff, though, look at his life, getting executed again. He is just getting so much heals right now. Talk about a tank. He is just eating damage, and there's nothing he can do about it. He cannot find a way in, as already rockets coming out, plus the lockdown. Lockdown missing 2 of the bursts right there. Lana getting hit by the first one, as Hybrid is doing all he can against Musashi in the background, but Musashi just playing such a passive game. It's so hard to find a way in, as diehard, another EX execute right there, plus a battle shout. So Scriff going to heal his whole team up for a decent amount right there. And that's going to take a lot of load off of Malicor's back, as Malicor is really working overtime, trying to keep this team alive. It's not looking good so far. Malicor, thought he was in trouble there. Hybrid is in big trouble, though, dropping to like 10% HP. Malicor is going to go down. Wow, that was big DPS from the X-Strike into a couple of shots, and Scriff is going to follow shortly, and they just crumbled once Malicor went down. I mean, how much damage did Scriff tank right there? I would say probably 700, but let's see for sure. 660. Wow, that was way too much damage for anybody to take, while the rest of his team's only taking 300, so double of anybody else in the game right there.
Yeah, I mean, the Vanguard, he did get changed, and I would say for the better. He has a different play style, though. Not quite as beefy because he doesn't have that Man's Guard, but, the zoning game, very, very strong. Melee has a hard time getting in, especially with good coordination and helping each other out. See, Scriff can't just, troll over everybody, but as I'm saying that, he did a lot of damage to Lana. Some spell locks did come out, did help try and control that, but right now, look, CC's coming out. The Cold Team's trying to regain their position again, but once they lose that momentum, once they let Scriff in, once they let pressure get inside their zone and they lose their zone, then bad stuff happens. But look at that. Rockets come back out. They're going to try and reform, and everybody's back to, pretty much good health. And a good lockdown right there on all 3 targets. Going to be amplifying everything, and oh my goodness. You see how much damage is coming out? Hybrid using his ultimate on Lana after, that other side was used, so there was no way to get out of that damage. Very nice capitalization, and it is a 2-2, now a 2-1, because a taunt to a M1 does a significant amount of damage. And Scriff actually eating so much of those gunner bullets. I was actually surprised for a little bit. Big Bertha comes out, gonna knock Scriff away, but playing the high-level game, just gonna play Chase the Gunner at this point. Not going to really do too much, though. Scriff's
trolling hard.
Spinning around while doing the Bloodline medallion. Kid's a pro. But Die Hard just delaying the game even more. I don't think he has any chance whatsoever. But
he doesn't. He's just being a dork.
This would be a good chance to talk about some kind of strategy and things like that. What do you notice, Taz, about this Cold team?
Well, the Cold team is playing their range game really well. I notice they start crumbling when both Scriff and Hybrid find an easy way in, and just they're really, the spell lock from Hybrid is really huge, depending on what target they're on. I think locking Nomad is probably their best chance right now of finding a way in, because if it disables X-Strike or Tornado, that's huge CC gone right there. And I'm not so sure the Slug Bomb is going to hurt Scriff or Hybrid that much, as Hybrid can just spam all day long anyways, so it's not going to matter a whole lot. He's going to miss a little bit, but look at Hybrid here, just sitting back. Scriff's going to take damage while Hybrid's just going to M1 spam all day long. Musashi already at 25% HP, and Lana is really off position right here, really way far away from his team, and that could be really costly because Musashi could not get the heals when he needed. And I thought an intercept was going to come out to Musashi. That was a prime time to get the Musashi out, and the EX X-Strike is going to get interrupted or locked down right there from Hybrid. Hybrid ulti coming out, lockdown coming out. I don't think it hit anybody though.
Oh my goodness.
And actually Scriff and Malicor taken down. Wow, Hybrid gets crushed right there, as Scriff is going to throw out the Reflect, do everything he can, not going to matter though. Cold team is going to take that one pretty handily. And this is not a good. Wow, he actually got to go with the bubble right there. That's pretty embarrassing. And, Scriff talking about he can't even use his R ability, which is Shield Slam. That's 50% reduction in healing and damage. And it's like a cleave ability, too, so it can hit multiples. And he just can't. There's no way he can get in. So
it is.
It's really a hard fight for Donors by Heart.
Yeah, it really is. And range in this game has a pretty significant advantage, especially with some slows. But they lack control. Like, Nomad has a ton of control right now, especially with that X-Strike being the way it is, and the boomerangs just going out and coming back in. Probably the best M1 in the game by far. But, you know, as soon as Scriff can get in, and as soon as the Cold team makes a mistake, their formation collapses. Like right there, and you got the Wuju to Waji, and you know you got Hybrid going in, Chronoflux out, not going to reflect any executes, but you know once they take some damage, they play very defensive, and then it sort of loses their zoning game a teeny bit. So we just have to see Scriff try and get on in, try and get something done. But, oh, what in the heck? Intercept, and he got tornadoed. But in the meantime, Lana using the Guardian Spirit, going to get that double Spiritual Link out, which does a significant amount of damage. And, you know, it's just wrapping it up. 3-1. GG's come out. But, oh, man, it's so hard for Donors by Heart on the one team to do anything. And look at that. Scriff only 6.2.
So much work, though, from Die Hard. I mean, he doubled every single person in the game's damage throughout the matches played.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. And you talk about someone using EX abilities. He is using everything EX and doing a great job of it, too. I mean, and that's extra CC, too. Like, EX Execute does half damage, right? But it also applies that really painful 50% slow. And against Scriff or even Hybrid, that's a rough thing to deal with, especially since they got no Dispel on their team. I mean, a Clarity Potion would be huge against this Cold team right now, even. But Musashi and Die Hard are controlling this map so hard right now, and there's not much they can do. I mean, Scriff can only reflect so often, but I mean, Die Hard can throw out the executes like every 3 or 4 seconds, and it's just a little too much. Obviously, I'm exaggerating that a little bit. I think it's like 6 to 8 seconds on the cooldown, but they're just forced to eat so much damage, and that one win they got was because they got Musashi dead, I think, within like 10 seconds somehow. He just got bursted down, and the damage was there, and everything worked out. So in order for them to... They're already down 1 map set here, and they're getting hurt pretty badly throughout. They need to make something change. Just choke a little bit. But Hybrid was taking a lot of damage already, as Malicor's all by himself taking a ton of boomerang damage from on Malicor. And he's all by himself right now against 3 targets. He actually spaced away, but that's definitely the right decision he needed to make right there. As look at the Worm Team Life already in a really bad situation. X-Strike coming down, a Scriff doing a charge. Not going to do a whole lot there. Musashi actually took a decent amount, but already they might get a kill on Musashi here, rather, and not enough to come out, as the Big Bertha is going to come out and just going to punt him away. And Die Hard's going to jump away. Musashi could be going down here. Oh, he doesn't have enough range on his M1s. Not going to matter, though. The Boomerang Storm is going to be the style finish. And actually, Hybrid 1v1ing Lana down here. I guess they're just going to heal up and laugh at each other. And EX Execute coming out. So, I honestly don't know what they can do. I think a comp set change would have been the only answer. But they seem to only want to play their comp in mind. I think Inhibitor in this situation is not a good answer for anything on the Cold team. I think they need something with more CC capability, maybe more stun capability. The shield is not getting blown up in anybody's face because they're breaking it from range. So it's basically just a barrier at that point.
No, I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to say Scriff with the Vanguard is the only thing, really. Because the X-Strike, the knockback from Wind Strike... he can't get in melee range. He really can't against Musashi. He's just got too many slows, too many knockbacks, too many, whatevers. Like, Hybrid's using his EX space, getting a lot of stuns off, and things like that. And the barrier is very, very useful for that damage mitigation. But, Scriff just not able to get in. Look at that. He got knocked back, and unless they just play superiorly, they're not going to be able to do anything. Other side also can come out on a Musashi. But look at that. X-Strike coming in big time. Reflect isn't up long enough to reflect all those boomerangs and things like that. And in the meantime, Die Hard can just go hog wild on whatever he wants to do. So it's just Nomad, there's no OP characters in this game. It's just very, very strong against melee. Very, very strong. And hopefully the developers take this into notice and will read my upcoming post about Nomad.
Minus 25. Apparently I think that means he gains heals when he's dead from taunt. So, because when you use taunt on a target, like after 5 seconds or whatever, you get that healing back that was dealt to you. So those taunts are going to be really big too for Script to land. If he lands those taunts, at least he'll get some life back automatically from taking all that damage he's obviously taking anyways. But look at Die Hard just sitting back there. Another execute on the Script, 44 damage down. And Hybrid, doing his best he can down here, throwing out the M1s, M2s, EX Space coming in, making stuff happen. I think Script just used an intercept right there. I heard the noise, but maybe it was a shout. I missed that. But Musashi, 25% HP. They got nothing. And again, another intercept missing on Musashi. They need to land those if they want to win here, or they're going to get 3-0'd. And actually, it's probably going to happen. Malcor getting taken out. Actually, Musashi could be going down as Lana healing up with the Guardian Spirit. This could be big right here as the Guardian Spirit is going to fade. And Scriff is, again, in a uphill struggle as he does not have a healer now, and he's going to have to rely on the shout and the taunt, Blood Rage, to get his HP back up, while Hybrid can M2, but Hybrid's being 1v2'd at the moment, but he is going to run away and heal up, but Die Hard in close pursuit is going to keep following him, and Scriff one hit away now from going down. He actually charges in, uses Intercept, doesn't have any damage to follow up with, and he's going to go down as that's going to be that. So Donors by Heart getting stomped pretty badly here, and well-deserved by Team Ghostbusters, moving on in the losers.
If you want to follow along in the brackets, you will notice that we are going to be in the losers finals. So it's going to be in Soviet Russia versus Ghostbusters. So double spell lock, always an issue.
Losers finals? Holy
yeah,
cow.
losers finals coming up. We are 3 hours 45 minutes into this tournament. I want to thank everybody for staying in tune and watching the great games that are going on and listening to us commentate. We're down to 912 viewers, guys. What's going on? Why is everybody logging off? But it is getting late over there in Europe. It is almost 11 o'clock Central European time. People have work in the morning, so I can't blame you. All of this is being recorded. I did press the record button right here, as you can see. So it said started recording. So you can't blame Cast if it gets lost. I blame OwnTV if anything happens. If I did do something wrong, I'll still blame OwnTV, and we'll go from there.
Yikes. Bad-mannered Cast over here, ladies and gents. Bad-mannered Cast. Always blaming someone, man.
I'm just spreading the love around, Tess. That's the way I like to look at it. Is that what they call it? Blame,
is that how you make
love, close enough, right? At least I'm, saying something about someone else. Can't say I'm selfish.
I suppose. I guess if that's one weird way to look at it, but that's you, Cass. You're all about that.
It's all about how you craft your words, Tess. You can make a lot of things sound.
101 here. It's all about how you craft your words. It's not what you say. It's about how you say it.
That is so true. By the way, yes, I am 21. I do have a higher voice, and when I do, get pumped up about a game, yeah, I can, sound a little bit younger. But hey, genetics. What can I do? What can I do?
I am a little bit older than Cass. That's why he always calls me old. I don't know why. He might be retarded.
What, you were talking about yourself? I sort of got distracted. I thought I heard the wind there. So.
Man. 58. Oh my god, someone just called me 58. Unbelievable. 58. Jesus. It's like my dad's not even that old. Holy crap. Jackasm's calling you out, Cass. Are you recording?
I said I just was recording. Listen to stream.
No, at least 300 more times if you're recording.
Alright, there you go. friendly banter with Jackasm. Oh, what is K not doing in this game? What? We already have 16 people. What is going on? KHCT. What? Wow. This game is full. Update observer slots, please.
Yes. We need more observer slots, and we need
more. We need more observer slots, more people in a channel, passworded channel. We need clan management. We need replays. We need tournament system. We need updated interface. We need what else do we need? Oh, match history. Let's see what else. Less hats. We need less hats. More balance. Although the balance is very good in this game, there are just two bloodlines that are too strong.
What's this hat stuff? I don't even know.
It's like skins and whatever. It comes from TF2.
I see what you're saying. Oh, man, Rex playing inhibitor. What is going on here? He must have seen what was going on last round, and they want to be... Well, actually, Jackasm is a very aggressive player, so obviously Rex is going to be comboing with that, and maybe Igniter's...
The barrier. Yeah, no, that works, because if they try and punish Jackasm, the Runic Barrier can go on him and blow him up at melee range, because he gets that Kunju to get in, and if they do too much damage, that can stun him and get more...
And I think it has a lot to do with, too, the Igniter is going to get capitalized on so badly from the stuns between Diehard and Musashi. I mean, he is in the category of the low HP, so he is, execute plus, X-Strike is, 80% of his life right there, so... It could be factoring into that. Maybe they want to go for a more long-standing survivability. And this is the Losers Finals, folks. So whoever wins this best-of-3 set is going to go on to face Team Dreamcrack. But let's see what they're capable of doing. As Rex going in really aggressive. Actually, shield blowing up in Lana's face right there. But the heals, Chip's doing whatever he can. But he is so out of range right now. Trying to catch up as Jack taking a ton of damage right there from Musashi and Diehard. And Diehard already with the rocket launcher. Full-on rocket launcher into Chips right there, 100 to 50 instantly. As Lana could be in big trouble right here. Actually, the Boomerang Storm comes out, is going to be enough to kill Rex, and Jack has him very shortly to follow right there. These guys got some work to do already because this team Ghostbusters is on fire right now with their kiting. They keep running backwards, and even into the corner, they just so much kite ability here. And Jackasm's having a hard time finding where he can open up without getting CC to live in hell.
Yeah, and I mean, even though Rex had a great ultimate, and they were putting on the pressure, Chip Cyan, they got a little bit away from him, and he couldn't get those sleeps out, so, Chip was just trying to run down this whole map while, Rex and Jackasm did their chances to get on into the fight, but, right now it looks like a little bit better of a position. Lana around the corner, gonna get stunned. Jackasm gonna be working on Musashi here, and great Kunju, gonna get onto Diehard right now, and he could be going down. Rex has the ultimate, is he gonna use it? He did use it, but it got cancelled for some odd reason, and there goes Musashi. So good play, Chip Cyan, controlling people off on the side, getting those heals off, getting in range. Look at that, instant injection just for that burst. No other side could come out in time. So he's really on his game, as well as Jackasm getting some better Kunjus, Rex positioning a little bit better, and Musashi getting caught with no sprint up.
Yeah, those were some huge Kunjus from Jackasm. I mean, that's the thing, though. If you're getting bursted by a Rex, if Rex is on top of you and you try and throw a bullet away, even at Jack, you got to worry about Jack being... That reflex on Kunju of his is pretty top-notch. It's almost undescribable, and he will get that Kunju on you. And he, as you saw a couple times, Kunju across the map and put the aggression on Diehard because of the M1s or executes going off randomly, and that's just not a good thing to have when you're already at 50% or lower. And actually coming out in a Chips right there. Nice job by Diehard redirecting and totally ignoring Rex right there. As Jack is looking in the background, just doing work on Lana, and Lana's not getting any support from his teammates, although he could easily be getting it. So Diehard, again, baiting out the Kunju. Not going to happen, though, as actually the Shuriken is going to land. So big deeps there as Rex going to go in there with a Wuju. See if he can do here. Here's the goo coming out on Musashi. Musashi's going to use EX space to get away. Good job. Oh, Jackasm got interrupted because of that swap. And his ultimate gets canceled. Oh, there's the Kunju again. A stray bullet from Diehard. And it ends up costing him his life because of it. So sometimes you gotta keep in the back of your mind what the Kunju cooldown is on, because he will punish you for that every single time.
Yeah, no kidding, and they might have been able to do some damage, but Jackasm knows. He knows, especially with this double range and all the guns and bullets flying around, that there's going to be that zone where they're going to want to shoot, and they're going to want to try and punish like they do other teams. But with the Kunju from Jackasm on Spearmaster and the Wuju on Rex as an inhibitor, they can get into the fight and control that space. Not going to let them keep that zone. They're going to get into the middle of the fight easily and still have a safe way back out. And I think that's why in Soviet Russia is doing so well right now. But look at this, Diehard in deep onto Chip Cyan, gonna blow up, get a weaken effect, and Jack has him still there to keep on the pressure. Rex using his EX space to get better positioning. They're gonna try and go after Diehard, but a great EX fear right there from Lana. The EX Scream does fear opponents away for 2 seconds, able to get that healing, but Musashi stuck in the goo, and he is going down to town. And that town would be, the River Styx, gonna go down to hell. As, I don't know where I was going with that one, but great capitalization and great switch. Diehard got low, but they didn't chase. They didn't chase back with Lana. They saw Musashi was trying to create this kind of zone in the mid, but he was all by himself. Chip Cyan's like, oh, you don't have a sprint? I'm going to slow you, and you're going to die. That's it. And taking it 3-1. Always switching targets. Even if they're low, don't go for that target. If he's getting heals, if you're going to put yourself in a bad position, get back, look for somebody else that's in a vulnerable spot. Take them out instead.
Yep, and wow, after that first round, I was worried that Mr. 2, you got owned, eat it. But never mind, more people. I was worried after that first time that the Colt team was going to rampage as well again, but they really recovered very nicely. And one thing I didn't think about is they have 2 Kunju-based counterattacks on the Worm team with the inhibitor. So they have 2 ways to. It's very easy to Wuju or Kunju a projectile attack. Not the big ones, obviously, because you have to predict those, like a camo execute, obviously. But the stray boomerangs, very easy to get into the fight if you need to, because you can just run into them and just activate it, and you're into the fight plus the slow. And with the inhibitor, it's the mini stun. So huge way into the fight, and since you have 2 of them, they actually have to be wary of just spamming their projectiles, unlike last game where they only had 1 reflect. So in this circumstance, they might actually have the advantage because of how easy it is for them to get in. They do have to work, they do have to have the team coordination to get a target bursted down before Lana can get the other side on, and a lot of that comes from Chip Cyan with that injection. That injection is really huge in these fights, as a whale burst come out from Rex, their EXM1, onto Musashi, I believe. And Musashi already below 50% HP, as Jack has him. Look at him doing work on Lana in the background there, avoiding like crazy while he's M1ing. I mean, you see that all the time, the avoidance while M1ing, huge underrated ability right there. As, look at Musashi, all by himself, healer is stuck, playing with Jack here, and Jack is getting the best of Lana down here. Nothing he can do. It's just going to be disabled, Tempest comes out, and that's that. Already, ISR, full speed ahead. And look at that, Kunju to finish it off, styling.
So styling, wow. No, LKI, I don't think Rex... Oh, no, I think he should play Inhibitor instead of Igniter for this matchup, just so he can get in. And I want to mention the Whale Burst. The Whale Burst is very good. 30% slow on movement and attack speed. Musashi relies on that movement and attack speed to keep throwing out those boomerangs to get that zone. Same with Diehard with his focus shots. If you can slow them down and slow their attacks down, their zone crumples. The amount of damage they can do crumples. So it's very good why he's using Inhibitor, and that he's not trying to get his ultimate, because it can be interrupted or other-sided, things like that. So, the Whale Burst, and look at that, Deadly Injection on Musashi, and he's taking huge damage, went from full to half HP, so you don't mess around with Chip Cyan right there. He will get that injection, and then, Rex will come in and do some damage, but right now the Worm team spread, Rex not winning against his gunner, and he's gonna, go back in and actually use his ultimate, but only gonna get about 2 hits off. Goo comes out just to try and support, and he's gonna wooed you in. Is he gonna die? 1 more hit? Yes, he does. And, splitting it up, not winning that fight against Diehard, very bad. Diehard gonna try and get a point-blank execute. Great job, back hit right there. While stealth, you can do point-blank injections. Not injections, but executes. And that can do some major punish. And right now, you saw Rex went around the corner. Not good positioning, not to be where Chip Cyan was. He had to run around, try and get something done. But
yeah, a lot of that has to do with Rex right there. Rex was the big contributing factor to ISR losing that round. He basically too big of a bite essentially, and he took more than he could chew as he kept getting Wuju farther and farther away from Chips, and Chips just could not keep up with him. He was burning everything he could, throwing blind clarities over the wall. everything within his power to try and get the damage off him. But Rex, the Wuchus just were ill-timed, and he just kept going farther and farther away, and I think that was a big contributing factor. But again, Jackasm, I think, needs to stop worrying about Lana so much, as he's not obviously getting that damage out fast enough, as Musashi and Diehard are very prime targets, I believe. As Jackasm right here, that's not what you want to fight. You don't want to fight that Guardian Spirit, and Jackasm wisely backing off as Lana is forced to waste that Guardian Spirit. As Rex doesn't even care. He's just going to go in there. He knew the Guardian Spirit was about over. Musashi, 50% HP. Chips in a really bad spot right now. 1v2ing against both range. Boomerang Storm is a killer of Alchemist, but if you look over here, the DPS side, Jackasm and Rex are going to take out Diehard right here, and Diehard is going to drop. So they're going to win that DPS